Hey, Steady on here. I know I haven't made a video in a while, and one of the main reasons for that is I'm working on this website. It's RTrack, which tracks Roblox games. So, I mean, you might be watching this video because you've found it linked on Twitter or something. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this actually. Anyway, this video is basically to show. It's like a demo for RTrack. So basically, RTrack tracks all these. It tracks. If we look at it's currently tracking 1.2 million games. It should pick up pretty much any change in players, even games with one or two players. It should pick those up. Pretty much all of the pretty much all the testing I've done has found that pretty much if your game gets one or two players for 5 minutes or more, then RTrack will pick it up. So the default game is Adopt Me. RTrack calculates all these insights and things. This is a paid service, so basically you get if you go on the website without a membership, you get the past hour of real time stats. I think you get some number of hours of this stuff. Basically, you can go on the website and see what I can't actually remember what you get for free, but you get some amount of stuff. But with a membership, you get all of this stuff. Anyway, so the point is pretty much to track everything, everything that's publicly accessible, and yeah. So here we've got likes, dislikes. We've got changes in the percentage of total game ratings that likes and dislikes represent. There's also an insights section which tells you the player count. This is the position ranked by the number of players in the game, but this is the position ranked by the popular sort rank. So if you go on on the games page, this is the popular sort. And what you'll find quite often is that the popular sort rank doesn't match up with the players by player rank. And the main reason for that is that Roblox reasonably recently stopped ordering the popular sort just by number of players. It's quite interesting on some games because Roblox does sort of like shadow banning, where they'll hide a game or they'll push it down the popular sort so that it's seen less often, but it actually should be higher up on it because of how many players it has. Then this here is just the top earning sort. So if you go to top earning, this shows where the game is on top earning, total visits, total game pass revenue, and this is the percentage of all the games across Roblox. What percentage of players this game currently has. So Adopt Me has 12%, which is quite a lot. That's 1 in 10 people playing Roblox are playing Adopt Me, which is quite amazing, really. And then we've got the real-time stats. So real-time stats are recorded. Here it says every 2 minutes. It should be, most of the time you'll find it's every minute. So if we go to past hour, here we go, yeah. So past hour is a minute. It's averaging out to 2 minutes for some reason. It does round up though, so if it's just 1.2 minutes, then it will say 2 minutes. But it's actually recording every minute. It does this for the top 5,000 games, it records every minute, and then every other game it records every 5 minutes. So that's all the real-time stats. You also got the general tab. So there's the concurrent players. It just goes back a much longer time period. So the real-time stats are limited to a week just because of how much there is there. General stats are recorded every 15 minutes. But real-time stats are every minute, so obviously it's a lot of data. It wouldn't really be realistic to try and store minute-by-minute data forever. So instead it's just every 15 minutes. There's also a change in average play time here. I'm not really sure what happened there. There are occasional sort of anomalous results on average play time. I'm not 100% certain why they're there. But it's possible when you see something like this, what's actually happening is that there's some update or something that's caused very high play times. In this case, it probably is some kind of anomaly here. You can see total visit graphs. can see rating graphs. I mean, something like this is quite interesting to see. It seems like there's been a very sudden jump in ratings. Possibly botting, but it's very unlikely that botting would be done by the creators of Adopt Me. More than likely, if that is botting, it would be because of someone targeting the game, essentially. Someone who isn't Dreamcraft, I'm assuming, or hoping. Anyway, so that's the general section. Then we've also got revenue. Revenue shows a lot of stuff. So this stuff up here is all available on the free tier. Everything below that, oh sorry, that's my phone. Everything below that is membership only. These stats go back. Well, they should go back 4 months, but I haven't enabled that. Yes, I guess. But the 2 months you can see here. So if we go to 2 months, can see revenue split for the amount of time you've selected. So you can see, for example, this has sold better. Premium plots has sold better in the last 2 months than it has overall. For some reason, it's taking 9.5% in the last 2 months, whereas overall it's only taken 6.3%. And you can also see by sales. So I think Adopt Me recently changed their glider pass prices or something. So I guess you'd expect to see a higher percentage of sales. That's not happened here though. Maybe it wasn't gliders. Well, it might be Modern Mansion, because you can see there's much higher sales on Modern Mansion than there are overall. So that's start of revenue stats. We can just switch to another game. Obviously, RTrack tracks a lot of stuff. So let's try Ninja Legends, for example. If you want to track a game on RTrack, all you have to do, go to the game, find the number in the URL, copy that, and you just stick it in this box here, and it will show that game. So let's go back to revenue here, and let's look at, let's say, the last month. Okay, yeah, so you can see on Ninja Legends, there's a lot bigger. There's a one Game Pass that takes 30% of all of the revenue of Game Passes that Ninja Legends get, which is quite different to Adopt Me's. But anyway, so we can scroll down here. You can see total game revenue. So this is the all the revenue of the game over time. It's past month here. So this just goes back since whenever it started. So that was 24th of, what is that? October? Yes, October, okay. So then we've also got here revenue split by individual Game Pass. So this is automatically all put here. So, sorry about that, my phone, it's gone off a second time. So this is, not really sure what's happened there. I guess that Game Pass doesn't have a name. I'm not sure why that's happened. It's possible they've removed the name of that Game Pass. But you can see it splits the Game Pass revenue by Game Passes. It's also possible to see Game Passes that are no longer for sale here. Clearly they haven't. It doesn't seem like Ninja Legends has any Game Passes that are off sale. But ordinarily you can see Game Passes that are off sale here as well. So so it also takes into account revenue for Game Passes that aren't publicly visible. So we've got total sales stats. You can see how sales have changed. This is especially useful if the price has changed on things. Probably for most of these, the price hasn't changed. I don't think. I mean, Ninja Legends hasn't been around for that long either. But often you'll see a game change its prices, and that will result in a jump in sales. Hasn't really happened here. Also got daily revenue, so you can see how the sales of that Game Pass has changed over time. And Ninja Legends making a lot of money here, clearly. 3 million Robux in one day. Usually you'll find that the revenue lines up for all the Game Passes. So if there's a jump in sales, then it matches up. But here, actually, it's quite surprising. There's a very big jump at the beginning at the beginning here for Infinite Ammo Game Pass, 17th of November. But it's very low for whatever this is. I'm not sure what Game Pass this is. So that's surprising. It seems like the revenue isn't actually matching up here. So obviously they've changed something else. Maybe they've made that more visible in game, and therefore that it's sold better. So all this stuff is useful if you're changing your Game Pass prices. You can see how your Game Pass how your Game Passes are selling over time. If you make a change in your pricing to your Game Pass, you can see exactly the effect of that price change, how it's changed your total revenue, how it's changed your sales, how it's changed day by day. So if you just change your Game Pass price for a day, you can see how much your increase is on that day. Then you've also got sales. I think I went over that actually. I think I've gone over everything here actually. Yeah, so that's all the revenue stats. There's also, I'm not actually sure if I've got my Roblox account linked. No, I don't. But if you go to the games tab here, it shows you all the games you follow. And then you can also link your Roblox account to RTrack with this box here. And it will, you just put this whole thing here, put all of that in your account description, put your username here, click verify, and it will link your account. And what that means is, you don't need a membership for this, by the way, but what it will mean is that your games show up underneath here. So all the games you have, that's collected sort of by RTrack. So any games that are under groups you own, or games under your account will show up here. They don't have to be games under just your account. So you can see all the games I'm following. One of them is my own game. All these stats here are calculated, so you can see Ninja Legends revenue has gone up by 5% almost in the last day. That's actually very common. Ninja Legends has very high revenues. Their revenue seems to go up by about 4 to 5% every day, which is quite amazing. You can see this circus trip has gone up by more than 5%. Adopt Me has gone up by less, but I would guess, yes, it is. It's more revenue. So Adopt Me's made more revenue, but it's a lower percentage. Anyway, so I can go on my own game. Let's have a look at a smaller game. You can see here, this has been recorded 27,000 times. You can see real-time stats here. So this is every 2 minutes for Clueless, because it's not as big of a game. You can see likes, so you can see it records more frequently enough that it will pick up individual likes here. When you get to very small games, even if you go to weekly statistics, all you'll see is one change in likes quite often. So you can see general revenue here, and then we go to revenue, and we can see the all-time split of revenue, all-time split of sales as well. So in Clueless, one of the main things people buy is the Sprint Game Pass. It's not very expensive, so it probably doesn't make up that much. Here we go. It makes up 20% of sales, but it makes up 20% of revenue, but it makes up 70% of sales. So that's quite interesting to see. And it's about the same in the last 24 hours as well. Let's try past week. So, not sure exactly what's happening there. It doesn't look exactly right. I'll figure that out afterwards. Anyway, so you can see all the Game Passes. Here we go. You can see Game Passes that are no longer for sale here. So I guess I just took this off. I must have taken this off sale before it sold anything, actually. But, of course, Game Passes that have been on sale, RTrack's recorded them, and then they've gone off sale, will still be visible here. There we go. So that's all the... I think I changed the price of one of these quite recently. Let me see. Yeah, I changed the price of this one. So you can see the price drop down from 2,000 Robux to 500 Robux. You can see if that's affected revenue at all. So when did I do that? I did that on 8th at 9 a.m. So I go here. I go to 9 a.m. Yeah, so okay, it hasn't done anything yet, but immediately. But it has. There is a sale there. This game isn't very popular anymore. I don't really focus on my games much anymore since I've been working on RTrack for so long. But if we go back down to here, yeah, wait, no, where is it? Here we go. So you can see normally this Game Pass barely sells at all. There's been one sale. I think there's one sale in the entire time RTrack's been recording it. But after I changed the price to to 500 Robux instead. You can see there was a sale pretty soon afterwards, just like 2 hours after I changed it. Whereas in the entire 2 months that RTrack's been tracking the Clueless, there's only been one sale. So that sort of thing's quite useful. You could just, change your price to a few different levels and see how it affects your revenue. And you can go back and view that for months at a time. So that's all cool, but I wanted to show how many games RTrack tracks, because people see this number here and they think it's a lie. They think it's just like a fake number, or it's just made up. So what we're going to do is we're going to search for something here. I don't know what I should search for. Maybe I'll just click a random advertisement instead. So I'll try this. Just click this advert here. So this game has quite a reasonable amount of players anyway, so I'm sure it is on RTrack. But this should also allow us to look at something else. So if I search for this here, you can see this has been recorded 4,800 times. We can look at the past week stats on it. We can look at likes and dislikes. We can look at general stats, of course, like you can with all the games. So I guess this hasn't actually been around for very long. Yeah, it looks like it only hit a high number of players. Well, 2 players. It only hit 2 players first on 5th of December. You can see average playtime stats, ratings of visits, of course. I'm not sure. Yeah, it does have game passes, so we can see game pass, revenue distribution, sales. You can see it for the past 24 hours as well. So you can see they've only sold 2 of these two. One of that, 1,000 Robux of this. So Island Suite's only making up a small percentage of their sales, but it's making up a big percentage of their revenue, 80% of their revenue. So this also gives us a chance to look at another feature. This is it's still sort of in development, so I don't know if it will show up properly here. No, okay, but you can navigate directly to this just by putting it in here. So you just go graphs/adverts, and it will show you the adverts for the game. Oh yeah. So there's another bug here I haven't noticed. RTrack is technically an alpha, as you'll see on the payments page, on the plans page. Sorry, it does say RTrack is an alpha. I've got a lot of features planned for RTrack, but it is an alpha, so there are problems like this. Just report them if you find any, and I'll do my best to fix them. So you can see RTrack records adverts as well, as it says on the landing page down here. It says currently there's 30,000 adverts have been tracked. So for some of them, only the market share will be visible, but depending on whether, depending on a few things, you should on some of them. For example, here we go. We can see the estimated impressions the advert's got and the estimated bid on the advert. The feedback I've got for these adverts has been that the bid is about 20%, 10 to 20% off the real value, so it's pretty accurate to the real value of bidding, and the impressions is about the same as well. So these are reasonably accurate to what those adverts really would have got. I use a very quite complicated system to calculate these. I don't have access to these stats. These are all of these stats are estimated. This should be pretty accurate. It's all done entirely just through RTrack looking at advertisements across the platform and figuring out these statistics. So obviously market share is a pretty simple one. You just say what percentage of the adverts on the platform is this advert, and that's what that is. So that's why you can see it for every game. Revenue and impressions are slightly different. You can't actually see that it says impressions there, but it does say impressions. But they should be reasonably accurate as well. So you can see RTrack tracks most games. If we go to a smaller game, I can't really... Oh, this is quite an interesting one, actually. I was looking at this earlier. So if we click on this advert here, this is... I don't know if it was the same game. So this game has a very small number of visits. It's possible that it's on RTrack. Let's find out. Yeah, there we go. So this is a perfect example of, well, it's a perfect way of at least attempting to prove that this is a real figure. RTrack is tracking a lot of games. So this game's been recorded 400 times. You can see it doesn't have any players right now, but I do have past week stats. So it had quite a lot of statistics, had quite a lot of players at one point. That's quite surprising here. It must have changed name partway along or something, because this happened quite recently. But anyway, so we've got change in total like percentage. It's very erratic change there. Very small changes in likes and dislikes here. But anyway, and then we've also got revenue stats. There's only one game pass here. I only sold it twice ever, so don't know if I'll have any stats on that at all. No. General, of course. Let's see how long people are spending playing this game. Not very long. Less than 5 minutes, it looks like. And the first time this was tracked was today. Looks like, today was the first time this game was ever tracked. So it's been tracked 400 times a day. So that's why here. Yeah. So this isn't actually, I'm guessing this is, so this is since yesterday, actually. This isn't actually the past week. This is just all the stats RTrack has, because it's probably created quite recently as well. Yeah, okay, it was created yesterday. That's why. So this is all the stats since yesterday. You can see it spiked here because it was quite a new thing. Obviously, people have been playing the game. For this game, again, we can see, hopefully we'll be able to see that advert. RTrack doesn't always track the adverts immediately. So it has got it. Here we go. So that is today, actually. Yeah, that's today. It's a very small percentage of the advert market. If I was to guess, I'd say that's probably maybe less than 100 Robux. It's probably 50, 100 Robux they spent on this advert. So yeah, that's that. I'll just have a look at one more game. If I search for something, I don't know, hello, and we'll find a game here. So these are all quite big games, actually. Let's try something with no players. Here we go. Let's try this one. So no players, has quite a lot of visits, but we'll have a look at this one. 0 players. Let's see. Has RTrack got it? It's like a little game. Here we go. 1,000 times. When I see that, sometimes I wonder why I track so many games. But it's proof that RTrack really is tracking pretty much. I guess don't know why this hasn't got them, but it's got the real-time stats. So it's proof that RTrack is really tracking pretty much all games. The way that tracking is done should mean that pretty much any game with players is tracked. Wonder if this game has any adverts? No adverts. Okay. Right. So that's RTrack. That's what I've been working on for the past 2 months at least, maybe 3 months. You can find link in the description. It's literally just rtrack.live. There is a free tier. There's a lot of stuff here you can get for free. You can also get a plan for RTrack. Right now, RTrack is probably, understandably, costing a lot of money to host. It's not. I mean, I completely expected that to happen. It's not really. It's not a surprise. Membership currently doesn't make up for the cost of the hosting. Not even including the amount of time I've spent making this website, but doesn't matter that much. If you want to support the website, or if you want to see those stats, it'd be great to get a membership. But it's also completely fine to use the website in the free tier. I would love to make all these stats completely free to everyone, but the thing is, the website does cost a lot of money to host. I've spent a lot of time making the website. I mean, a lot of time. And obviously I could have been making games and stuff during that time. So I have to have membership fees, otherwise it wouldn't be worthwhile. And I would be losing a lot of money as well. So yeah, check out RTrack. It's in the description. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you think of the website.